What does it mean to be human? I feel like we've been spending our entire life being conditioned and programmed and taught to be everything that we were never designed to be when we're trying to long for the discovery of the very thing we were made to be. Who do we look towards when we look out into the world and we allow our careers or our positions or our dreams or our passions or our gifts or relationships or the things that we have to try to tell us what we are? How come it never satisfies? How come it can't produce a joy to overcome the tribulation that we feel or the hardships that we experience? How come it can't provide a love that never stops loving us? Instead, it's conditional and it's based on what someone else can offer us in an exchange. How come the very thing that we're looking at to think that we can become the imitation of doesn't actually serve us with life and life more abundantly? It actually draws us closer more towards the sting of death in our lives, which is why we're filled with angst and why we actually can't stay rested in the life that we've chosen to create for ourselves. So who do we go back to? Every human being is wondering how to be what it was made to be. It cries out in its heart, and that is why the revelation of the Father is such a beautiful gift to every human being. It's not a religion. It's the very person that we were all made from, the most beautiful and wondrous person. And so when we don't know how to collect our thoughts, we go to God and say, how do you collect yours? Whenever we feel so chaotic and anxious in our emotions, not knowing how to stabilize them, we say, God, how do you stabilize yours? Whenever we don't know what to believe because we're filled with so many opinions and so many doctrines and so many things around us telling us what is true and what is not, God, what are you hanging on to as true? Because whatever you believe, I know it will always be what it is and it doesn't waver. The beautiful thing about being connected to God and seeing him as Father is we actually get to discover who and what we are by discovering who and what he is, because we are the image and likeness of God. And what a wonderful, beautiful thing to be, to know that we are the highest form of creation and that we can never be anything less than that. So I pray that we will come into a place that instead of looking out into the very thing that can never tell us who and what we are, I pray that we would go to the Father and ask, who am I? Who do you say I am? And how do I be what I am? Because I want to learn how you are as you are. And so, guys, I pray that we would become more vulnerable, that we would become more curious in our design, that even though we're called sons and daughters, what does it mean to be human first before we become anything else? So that way, as we enjoy our human experience, we don't see it as a sinful nature that we have to reject, but it's actually the very life and the very experience of us being materialized into